The relationships or the links that we created by default were all finish start links. And a finish start quite clearly is just a simple number appearing in the predecessor column. What I want to do now is look at the fact that there are 4 types of relationships in project, that finish start is just one of 4. I'm going to click on row 17 and I'm going to scroll to task, which is a button we added to the quick access toolbar in an earlier video, which normally resides here to the right of the task tab in the ribbon. But why I've scrolled to task is I think this is a good candidate to illustrate what the different types of relationships are. Row 18 is linked to row 17 and the number 17 appears in the predecessor column, which means that that's a finish start relationship. But let's say there's no reason why these 2 tasks, for example, can't start at the same time. Don't look at what they are. I'm more interested in what the relationships look like. So I'm going to press F2 while I'm sitting on 17. I'll press F2 and I'll tag on the end an SS. This is now a start-start relationship. These will now both start at the same time. So a 17 was a finish start, a 17 SS is a start-start. By these 2 tasks starting at the same time, we've actually saved ourselves 3 days. If I put it back to 17, this is now taking 11 days and the project's taking 86 days. But by changing it to 17 SS, I've just gained, in actual fact, 4 days, just the way it's worked out. So that's a good thing. Besides a start-start, there's also the option of a finish-finish. I'm going to go 17 FF, which means that now both of these tasks finish at the same time. So they can start at the same time with an SS, they can finish at the same time with an FF, and then the last one is 17 SF, which means that the first task doesn't start until the second task finishes, which to me means you've actually got them around the wrong way. So I don't particularly like that. So I'm going to put 17 back in there. And so there's 4 types of relationships that come with project, the default being a finish start. I'm going to implement some start-starts. So for example, I'll just bring the Gantt into view so you can actually see how this appears. We have an 8 in this particular row 12. I'm going to change that to a start-start so that this bar here, which is trim, is going to start at the same time as walls. We can paint the trim and paint the walls at the same time because we have more than one painter. So 8 SS. Immediately these 2 start at the same time. Our duration for our project is immediately chopped down to 70 days. If I wanted to put it back to an 8, we actually saved ourselves 16 days. So I'll put it back to 8 SS. I also not only want to do the walls and the trim at the same time, but I want to do the doors at the same time as well. We can paint the walls, the trim and the doors all at the same time because we have more than one painter. So I'm going to change that to 12 SS. And now these 3 are starting at the same time and we've saved ourselves more time and we're now down to 67 days. The other thing I'd like to do is I'd actually like to build the shed at the same time as I build the fence. So I'm going to go to the 22 shown here. I actually need to take out this particular milestone. So I'm going to select row 20 and delete it. And I will therefore choose this 21 that's showing here. And I will change that to 21 SS. And so the whole idea now is when I scroll to task, you can see that these 2 particular tasks, building the fence and building the shed, are going to happen at the same time. So now our project's down to 60 days.